The next morning, we go back to the doctor, does another ultrasound, and he shows that the baby died in the womb, and we kind of figured that with everything that he's been having, and she'd been feeling him kick less and less, and it was heartbreaking for both of us, but more so to her because she was feeling every kick that he had. I only felt him kick maybe a couple of times, because every time they tried to feel it, he was like maybe in the very back. But there's a couple of times where I felt like a little like drag right across my hand. So I'm like, oh yeah, he kicked. But yeah, I mean, it sucks.
So this is essentially the second time that this has happened.
But with the first one, it died at 8 weeks. Her body got rid of it at 11. This time, it was essentially a full-grown baby. Not full-term, but it was essentially a little person. He was 28 weeks, 4 days to be exact. We were just about into the third trimester.
Wow.
Yeah.
How are you guys dealing with this?
I mean, it's never going to get better. The hurt's never going to go away. But, I mean, it gets a little easier every day. But, I mean, we miss him like crazy.
Flying all the way to Colorado shows that you guys care so much.
I mean, we wanted to do everything to try to help him. But that whole week, the doctor was like, okay, so what we're going to do now, we need to prep you to have the baby, because they have to get the baby out. So they have to essentially trick her body into going into labor. So they have to manually dilate her, and so she can able to push the baby out. So,
oh, Jesus.
But, I mean, it was a little painful.
God, that must have been the worst.
It was a few day process, and because they have to.
I was gonna say, like, what goes into like forcing expediting the delivery.
Okay, so I keep forgetting what it is that gets.
You don't have to talk about this.
Well, they essentially on the first day they have to.
God, you don't have to talk about this.
No,
it's too soon.
No, I'm trying to figure out the word.
Too soon is the word.
They have to they dilate her a little bit. What was it? Tuesday or Wednesday, and then the following day they dilate her a little more. So she doesn't have to be fully dilated like the full 10 centimeters like she needs to be, but at least between 7 and 9. And then Friday she's ready, and then it's funny because. And she didn't even get a spinal block or anything, so she's a fucking trooper. But they, had her on all of these like pain meds and stuff. But
yeah.
But now she's not, scared to give birth.
The epidural.
Yeah. She didn't get the epidural because most women are like, oh, being pregnant, delivering the baby hurts, blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I was doped up, but it wasn't that bad. But. I mean, she fucking did it like a trooper, though, and it was kind of funny how she did it, because she's like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom, blah, 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 and, she's telling me this after she comes back in, and she's like, oh, man, it hurts, and then she reaches under, she's like, nope, he's crowning, and so the nurse, right in the bathroom, so the nurse comes in, she goes, oh, we can take you to the procedure room, she goes, no, we're doing this right here, the nurse's like, all right, that's fine. And so, like, do you want me to get him? It's like, no, wait for contraction, and wait for the contraction. The baby literally falls out. The nurse catches him.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
Delivers it right there. So she was
in the bathroom.
She was a fucking trooper, I tell you what.
Wow.
But it was cool that usually in these cases, like, parents don't get so lucky and they end up having to remove the baby in pieces, unfortunately. But we're fortunate enough for Elliott to come out whole. So after that happens, they bring her back in, and they, set her down, and at least Leslie tells me all this. And then they go clean Elliott up, wrap him in this cool little blanket that this patient had made, and she makes these blankets for, parents in this situation.
What an awesome person!
And it's cool because it's like a Mexican tradition. It's like this blanket with these patterns in it, but there's one part of the blanket that's different from the rest of it, and it's supposed to have a message within the blanket.
Do you know anything about this? You're Mexican.
I've heard about this.
That's so touching that
Yeah.
somebody would do that. Can we start them a GoFundMe?
It's a nonprofit, but if you want to, I'm sure that they wouldn't mind.
Can we link to that?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
I'm sure you got some information.
Yeah, in the when we go into break, I'll
What an awesome thing for somebody to do.
I know it's so cool. So they have him all wrapped up, nice in the blanket, and they say, "Hey, do you want to see him fully or just from the waist up?" And we know that he has legs, and we know, but they're shorter. But we only want to see him from the waist up because that's how we want to remember him. And so they have him wrapped up in the blanket, and they have a little hat for him, and then that's what my my cover photo is essentially. So that was his little hat.
I haven't seen the.
So that's his little handprint and little feet prints and the little hat that he had on.
Oh my god!
So cute.
And the cool thing is, Leslie had lifted up his hat a little bit, and he had dark hair like me, and he had Leslie's nose. And I was a little upset by this. He had my dad's mouth. He had this little bit of a pouty mouth. And Leslie goes, "Hey, he's got your dad's mouth." I'm like, "Son of a bitch, he does." But
Does Leslie have blonde hair?
yes.
Okay.
But he was the cutest little baby, and the nurse even told us, he goes, even when the babies come out whole, they usually don't end up looking so cute, but he's a little cutie. He was really cute. And everything was, from what we've seen from the waist up, was developed on him. His little eyebrows, his hair. I could see his little tiny fingernails on his hand, and yeah, and then. We had to hold him for a bit, not out of the basket, because they brought him in a nice little basket wrapped up with the hat and everything, and we got to kiss him, tell him goodbye, tell him we loved him and everything, and man, I think that was the hardest part of the whole procedure for me, was for both of us, just holding the baby and looking at him and just realizing that we're, and I was really glad, because on that day, I was kind of debating on whether or not I wanted to hold him, because I didn't know if I could handle it. But they said to bring the baby in. Leslie's like, "You sure you want to do this? You don't have to." I'm like, "No, I can do it. I can do it." The minute the nurse walked in with the basket, clearly he's in the basket, and I just started tearing up. And Leslie holds him first, and I'm just looking at him, and doing the whole little one finger pet thing, and she hands it to me, and then I'm just bawling my eyes out, bro.
I can't. We can't even imagine the anguish and the emotion that you and Leslie went through, because like we were, like I was telling you, before we started recording, and I'm not comparing. I'm really not.
Yeah, right.
But I told you, my views on life and death are completely different than the next person. Mm-hmm. And that's actually why I wanted Kirsten to be on here, because she's more, I don't want to say emotional, but more understanding and more coping than I can be. I'm going to be, I feel like I've already hit the grandpa stage where just suck it up, boy, kind of thing. But yeah, dude, I love you like a brother, and I've known you and Leslie for quite some time now, thanks to Tim. And when I talked to you last week, and you guys were in Colorado, and you said you have to get away from it. The thing is,
see, and then that's what I was saying when you, Tim, and Billy were doing the show last week. That was why we was trying to see if we had one more chance to try to help him anything, and then dying Monday night, and then the whole week. But we were at the doctor's office every day for a few hours. But then after that, Wednesday it actually snowed in Colorado. Leslie had never seen snow before, so that was actually really cool. And
did you guys make snowballs?
We did. We had a small snowball fight up in the mountains, so that was cool. I mean, it was no vacation by any means, but
at least you had a little bit of.
It was a little bit of relief, aside from what our objective there was. But I'm glad that she got to see snow, because she'd never seen snow before, so that was really cool.
It's a sight. Yeah. It really is.
And on that Wednesday, coming back down the mountain, we had seen 4 little baby deer coming not all the way down from the mountain, almost, and we're like, that's a sign. You know, he's watching over us. He wanted us to see that.
Wow. Yeah.
I had a little brother.
Okay.
That died when he was like 5 months old.
Really?
I was 5, so I didn't really understand what was happening.
Yeah.
But same thing, bassinet, parents came downstairs to feed him. All of a sudden, we're on the way to hospital. He didn't make it.
Yeah.
I'm really, I'm an adult now, whatever.
Yeah.
But the way that you and Leslie are sticking together is admirable.
Because
that's a lot.
It is, and that's the funny thing is, situations like this are so hard on people and so hard on families that it almost breaks them apart because they can't.
It does break them apart.
They can't handle the emotional stress. But with us, it kind of brought us closer together because once we found out originally that he had spina bifida, we're looking it up. We're seeing, hey, what can we do to help him if he has this, or what can we do to help him if he has this? So we're trying to figure out different ways that we can help him. And then we found out he's got a whole list of shit medically wrong with him. We're like, what the fuck do we do now?
Yeah.
And
my not comparing.
No, you're right. Go ahead. Yeah.
But my mom's really sick right now.
Okay.
And my parents have been divorced for over 18 years. And my dad's been coming up here every single month under the farce that he wants to plant plants.
Okay.
But to help me with my mom. Like, family is family.
Yeah.
And they didn't last after my brother died. But it's cool that family is still there for each other. So the fact that you and Leslie are sticking it out is fucking awesome.
It is, and I'm really glad. I mean, not glad that we had to go through this, but I'm glad that the situation brought us even closer, more in a partnership and a team almost, you know what I mean, to try to figure out what are we going to do, how are we going to do this, how are we going to pay for this and everything. And then, I mean, it's been a journey. We're doing
and you're still on the journey.
I mean, and we're still trying to hold up the best we can. I mean, we're doing okay. It's never going to get any better. I mean, it'll get a little easier each day, but
it
sucks. It really does suck.
Of course it sucks.
And the funny thing is that, and not to say that they don't deserve it or anything, but we're looking on Facebook and literally all of our friends and all of our family around us, they're all having their babies right now. And not to say that they don't deserve their babies, because everybody who wants their baby deserves to have their baby. And
there's tons of people that don't deserve their babies.
And that was going to be my next point. Like, everybody who wants their baby deserves their baby, but we're trying to figure out why not us?
Yeah,
and just like you were saying, there's people who don't deserve their babies. Like, this is a little off topic, but this fucking stupid cheese trend where people are throwing cheese on their babies, like, what the fuck? Like, are you that much of an asshole? Like, one, you're wasting food, so that's a waste of money right there. But also, you don't know if that's causing the baby any mental trauma. Like, you're thinking, oh, piece of cheese, man. Like, you're an asshole for throwing cheese on your baby in the first place, but you don't know if that's going to affect him later on in life.
C-Lane had a great point on that. I don't see anything wrong with throwing a slice of cheese at a baby, but God forbid there's a dog in the room that likes cheese, that's 90 pounds.
And God forbid the baby's allergic to cheese.
I think
dairy.
Putting it on the skin is okay as long as they don't ingest it. I don't know.
I think that would.
There's size to every story.
You never know if that could cause any trauma to the baby or not. Like, and then there's people in mine and Leslie's situation where, we weren't able to, keep our baby, and there's people throwing food on their baby. Like, what the fuck?
You did so much. You flew to Colorado to see a doctor. Like, that's a lot more than anybody else would do. You've done everything you could. Yeah, you don't like the OB. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, for real.
But you seriously have done everything you could do. And it's super unfortunate, and I don't want to use the term, unlucky, but that's kind of what it is. Life's not fair.